Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Alicia and I'm obsessed with stickers and planning, so if you are too, you're in the right place. My channel is full of plan with me's, sticker hauls, and other planning videos. All of my videos have timestamps in the description so you can skip around to different sections and to different shops in my hauls. And if this is your 20th time listening to this intro, you can go ahead and skip this too. All my social media links, including Instagram, are in the description, as well as all the supplies I use and notes about each video. The planner I'm currently using is my standard size vertical planner, which I use for decorative memory planning. I also just want to add a couple quick notes about me since I don't always remember to go into detail in my videos, and for new viewers it can be confusing. So when I mention work, I'm referring mostly to my bookkeeping position at a grocery store, and when I mention Anastasia, or Anna for short, she is my pet ball python. So let's go ahead and get started with this video, and I hope you enjoy. Hi guys, so before we officially get into today's video, I did want to briefly go over the swatch books that are occasionally available in my shop whenever I have stock available, because it does take a while to make them. I was asked to do a little flip through of them, so here we go. You can see all of my foil colors and how they appear in the swatch book. You get a nice big swatch of each color and all 46 colors, and they are laminated, so they are extremely durable. And it is on a convenient binder ring, so you can actually take them off and take out a few of them and lay them down next to whatever kit you're using and see which color looks best with your kit, and then you can just put them right back on the binder ring. So they are going to be available hopefully pretty soon as I have time to make a bunch more, and I will of course let everybody know on Instagram when they become available. I'm showing an example of taking them off the binder ring right now and comparing, and yeah, let's go ahead and get into the video. Hi guys, so I'm very excited today to be showing y'all the brand new Halloween collection. This will be the first Halloween collection of this year. I originally had a couple more planned. I think one of those slots is going to be taken up by a Haunted Mansion collection, and I may just save the rest for next year, but this is a fantastic generic Halloween collection that can go with pretty much any Halloween kit. It has all kinds of elements in here. I'm going to probably take some specific elements and themes from this and do full like bundles and collections on just those elements in the future, but this one will have pretty much everything, so I can't wait to get into it and show you guys. So first of all, I did foil this in my violet color, which is similar to purple, but it leans more pink than just dark purple. I guess it could be considered kind of bluish purple is the one that's just called purple, but this is violet, so you can see it's a little bit more of a pinky purple. And as usual, a little disclaimer, any mistakes or black spots you see in this foil are just for these demo versions and will not appear on the final product, because I pride myself on quality control, so just ignore those. As usual, let's start off with the underlays. So we have our large pattern to start, which is as usual just the busiest pattern. So if you like to use a lot of boxes and labels in your day by day, and you still want some of the design from the underlays peeking through, this will be your best bet, because you will definitely be able to see something behind those boxes. And I did try to make the deco designs really tiny for these underlays. So we have jack-o'-lanterns, coffins, witches' hats, bats, and ghosts and spiders in there as well. We have plenty of tiny little icons, and then we have the medium, which is the more sparse version of that, if you're more used to a sparser underlay. And for the two fun ones, we have alternating jack-o'-lanterns. I really like this guy because he looks so worried. Meanwhile, this guy just looks evil. It's hilarious. And then we have the bats pattern as well. So those are just kind of on the simple side, but very nice and classic. And then for the full box overlays, the confetti full box overlays, we start off with the full pattern, which again is the most densely populated confetti overlay. It will cover up the most amount of clip art, and it has more designs in it going around all of the edges, but you can kind of see the main things I chose to use. We have our little tombstone and jack-o'-lantern, and then we have the coffin, the like the zombie hand reaching up through the dirt, and then the witch's broom. Then we have the spider, candy, and then ghost and bats. So that is the full, and then we have the medium, which comes in 4 corners as pictured here, and then 3 corners and 2 corners, which I'll show you in a second. But yeah, the medium is just less densely populated, so it doesn't have stuff on all of the edges, just the corners. So it definitely covers up less of the clip art. And then that comes in 3 corners, so each one of the corners is missing. So if you have clip art in a corner on a full box that you don't want to cover up, then the sheet is perfect for that. And it also comes in 2 corners, which is arranged like this, although this is an example of the the small confetti size, so you can kind of see the size comparison. It's even smaller than this, so if you want to cover up even less of the clip art, you have this option in all 3 corner sizes, or corner styles. And this is the 2 corner, so we have it slanted that way, and then just the bottom 2 and the top 2 corners, which are perfect for fashion boxes where there's usually like some kind of big hair or big dress going on that you don't want to cover up. So we have that option as well. So we have those, and then next we have the big box overlay, which is the same kind of confetti pattern in all 4 corners. Eventually I will start doing more creative options for the big box overlays, but I think right now this suffices. And honestly, big boxes are not even used that much in spreads. I've seen, I tend to use them whenever I get them. I really love using big boxes and big box extenders especially, but they're not super popular, so I may at some point do some more designs, but more just for like my personal use. I don't expect them to like be super popular, which is why they're not a priority, but they will be coming. And then we have just some flag overlays down there, just to use up space on that sheet. And then this overlay also comes in 2 sizes, because there are typically 2, I guess every big box is a different size from a different shop, but those 2 sizes I give you will cover both. And then next we have the tall box overlays, which again, you have your 2 standard sizes of tall box here. We have the SPC and Apple Blossom print size, and then the Glam Planner and Crest Press size over here. And then 2 confetti flag overlays as well. You can kind of see how I arranged those. So we have that, and then we have our sheet of double box scenes, which we have the classic confetti version at the top, which is really just the full confetti box split in half. And then the fun one at the bottom, I did a little graveyard scene. I actually tried to make this one a lot smaller than I typically would. Usually my double box designs like take up a lot more space, but I wanted to like try to cover up less of the clip art because it can just get overwhelming with the foil. It's just meant to be like an accent, not like a, you know, a whole full box overlay or like a coat overlay that's meant to take up like the whole thing. So I try to make it a little bit more subtle. So we have our dainty little graveyard here. We've got our spooky tree, we've got our ghost, our jack-o'-lantern in the tree. Then we have the black cat hiding in the tree as well on that side, and then some bats. So there's the double box scene overlays, and then we have the just normal full box overlay sheet, which has the borders on it. So we have these 2 borders. We have our little jack-o'-lantern up there. We have the fun border with all the little icons and confetti, and there's tiny candy confetti in there as well. And then you get 2 different haunted houses. I couldn't choose, so I chose to put this one in the border because I thought it would be really cute. And then if you do want to have an enormous full box overlay, occasionally I will do something like that. So we have the haunted house, which takes up pretty much the whole thing. So that's going to be really fun. If you have like a pattern full box and you don't want to use a quote, then you can just use the enormous haunted house. So love that. And then we have deco, which has some fun new stuff. So I did try to make it smaller in general, so we have fewer of the like enormous deco that I usually put at the bottom. So we just have some of the designs that look better, bigger rather than smaller. And then we have the medium row, and then we have smaller, and then we have tiny cluster deco. I usually do 2 different versions if I remember. So we have some with just the tiny cluster of 3, and then some with the 3 plus additional dots. And then sometimes they'll be mirrored as well. So this one is just that row, but mirrored. And then I did teeny tiny cluster deco. I am trying to do more like absurdly tiny deco because the teeny tiny cluster deco is just super fun and even more versatile than this tiny cluster deco. This can go in even more places and be even more subtle, and will be especially fun to decorate characters and icon stickers, which I personally just like to decorate. The regular character stickers I would usually be using with little bits of foil, like specifically cluster deco foil, instead of using foil icons, which is why they're not in my bundles yet. But yeah, I think these will be especially useful for that purpose, so I really can't wait to start using those and see how well they work, and I'm going to try to do really teeny tiny ones in every single deco sheet going forward and for future reformats of previous collections as well. So I think that'll be really fun. Tell me if you like that new change with the world's tiniest cluster deco on there. And then next we have our quote boxes. We have 2 sheets this time. I typically just do as many sheets as I can think of at the time. But of course, as I like reformat collections and stuff, I think I'll probably add in some more. But we have 2 themed sheets here. This one is just generic Halloween. As usual, 2 of them have the confetti overlays on the outside in case you have a pattern full box and you want to cover up the entire full box with foil. Then it's already pre-built in. So we have trick or treat, and then ghouls just want to have fun. And then this one over here says, "'Tis the season to be spooky." And then I love this one with the cauldron and the words inside, which say bubble, bubble, toil, and trouble. So that's the one that's just called Halloween. And then this one is called Movie Quotes in the shop because it is mostly a Hocus Pocus quotes sheet. This one is just generic. It's just pick your poison. And that is the apple from, I think, Snow White, the poison apple, which is really cute. I don't know why I love that being a quote, but I just love that reference because I think Snow White doesn't get enough love, but that's in there. That one's for me because the rest is Hocus Pocus, and I'm not a big Hocus Pocus fan, but I know that y'all are, and I knew that y'all would go crazy for these quotes. And yeah, they have already been purchased so far, which makes me happy. But yeah, so we do have our just classic Hocus Pocus one here. I almost did Amok 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 as the 4th one, but I don't know. I didn't quite want to do that one. I wanted to use this one instead, but just know that I was thinking about it. But we have that one, and then we have I Smell Children with the outlines of their hairstyles. And then we have the Sanderson Witch Museum Home of the Black Flame Candle one, which actually turned out really cool. Sometimes I do create the quotes, but sometimes I do like purchase them or find them. So I had already pre-purchased these, but they do look really cool. So there's the quote boxes, and then we do have our dangles and swoops sheet. So these are also a lot tinier and daintier than usual. I feel like I was just looking at it and I was like, yeah, those are some pretty teeny tiny dangles and swoops. So like I'm just trying generically to make my collections smaller so that they're, I don't know, less obnoxious, I guess, and cover up less of the clip art, because I feel like everything these days is so much about foil that we're kind of like losing focus on how freaking amazing all this clip art is that is coming out. And I feel like there's a few people who I've talked to who do kind of like to use more subtle foil so that they can show off the clip art a little bit more. And while I am like a very extra person with foil, I like to use all the foil, and I still want to do that. I want to be able to do that and still see the clip art. So that's why I'm just trying to make a lot more tinier foil. So let me know if you agree with that, or if you want more bigger foil as well. Maybe I can try to do both, but generally I'm going to try to get a little bit tinier if I can. I'm trying to get as tiny as I can without losing the details. So some stuff like will be altered as it gets smaller. Like if I do tiny coffins, I'll like fill in that cross. Otherwise it won't foil as well, but just know that I am thinking about that. So yeah, we have our dangles up here. We have the long and the medium dangles here, and then the tinier ones on there, and then the bottom half is swoops. So we have some more vertical swoops and some more horizontal ones. The way they are positioned on the sheet is the orientation that they're meant to be used over the full box, but of course you can do it however you want. And then we have the teeny tiny swoops, which are bats this time. So I love using these because oftentimes I want to use like all these swoops, but a lot of the times they're like a bit too big for where I want the space to be. And you can trim them, of course. You can trim any of these to whatever size you want. But I find that these teeny tiny swoops just fit like everywhere. So I did try to fill in all the empty spaces on the sheet with the teeny tiny swoops. So you can have that option. There's a little bat. So that is that sheet. And then of course we had to do our Halloween script sampler, or it's like Halloween bucket list sheet basically. So we have pretty much everything on here. So we have the block scripts up here, and then the the hybrid scripts at the bottom. So these are better for third boxes. Some are like half box or square box appropriate. And then these are for fancy labels and little things. So, and of course, these block letters up here are in all 5 of my block letter fonts, which will be available pretty soon as customs. But I can kind of show you what they look like right now after I read the scripts to you. So we have just generic Halloween, which does actually fit in a little thing, but I usually like to mark my holidays a little bigger, so I would probably use the Happy Halloween one, which could go in a 3rd box. And then we have Halloween Party, because I did attend a Halloween party last year, I think it was 2 years ago, actually, 2 Halloweens ago, because last year I think we just went out to the club. And then we have make Halloween treats, and then make costume. If you are the type of person to make your costume, I figured I would make that a little bit bigger so you could mark it bigger, because I feel like making a costume is no small ordeal. So that's for you guys who like to make your own stuff. And then we have trick or treat really big as well. And then I also did trick or treat as like a square box size, because if you want to mark it even bigger, you can do that. And I just love when a phrase has like 3 words, because then I can usually put it on 3 lines. And if it's like a short phrase in width, then it would work really cool in a square box. And I just love scripts that like fit perfectly in square boxes. Like, those are my life. Like my print and cut scripts that fit in square boxes, I love using those. So yeah, I try to do that where I can, but you have 3rd box and half box / square box size, depending on what you have a room for. And then I think it's also on the smaller size as well. And then I did Scary Movie Marathon also as like a half box size, and then we just have plain old movie marathon, and then we have Halloween movies, depending on what you are watching. I am the type of person to mark the specific movie, but I haven't quite done a movie script sampler yet. I may do that at some point. There are several out there. I think Carly Plans definitely has one, so I definitely recommend her shop, and I may do some eventually in my fonts. We'll see. But there are some out there. And then we have the pumpkin related ones. So we have carved pumpkins, which I do love doing every year, as well as visiting a pumpkin patch. So we've got that as well. Those are all of the bigger size ones. And briefly going over the designs of the block letters, we have the no fill, which is pumpkin patch is an example of that. It's just the outline of the letters. Scary Movie Marathon is full fill, so it's all the way filled in. Carved Pumpkins is the lined fill, which has lines in each of the letters. Trick or Treat is another... Actually, Trick or Treat is modern fill. So instead of being half fill like that, where it's horizontally half filled, these are vertically half filled. And then the half fill, which is the only one that's been used before. So you've seen that before, where the letters are half filled horizontally. So that is all 5. I love those a lot. And then we have the hybrid ones, which again, I'm just using this cursive script as like a placeholder until I can figure out how to turn my own cursive handwriting into a font. If y'all have any like YouTube videos on how I can easily do that, let me know, because like I'm trying to research it. But in the meantime, I'm just using this one, which is what I used to use for my own personal scripts before I decided I didn't like it that much. But that's just what is on here. So we have Happy Halloween in the smaller version, Trick or Treat, smaller, Decorate for Halloween, Buy Halloween Candy, Halloween Treats, which is kind of like make Halloween treats. So you could use it for either making or eating Halloween treats. I obviously did not have enough room to write either make or eat next to Halloween, so it's just treats. But then we have Halloween Party, and then Halloween Movies, and then Pumpkin Patch, Buy Costume, Make Costumes, Scary Movies, Movie Marathon, Carved Pumpkins, another Halloween Treats in case you have them twice, and then another Halloween Movies, because again, that's something you could be doing twice during the Halloween season as well. So, and I think I put Pumpkin Patch on here. No, I didn't put it on twice. It's just once as a smaller version, but yeah, because sometimes we do go to multiple pumpkin patches. So there is the Halloween sampler. The script sampler. And then for the headers, as usual, they are now on their individual sheets. So we have 3 designs, which now have 11 headers each on them. So if you want to buy just one design, you only have to pick up 2 of the sheets instead of 3 of the same sheet. Or you can mix and match, and they're about the same price as they were before, just buying a whole sheet. So we do have the confetti design, which again, teeny tiny little icons in there. And then we have the jack-o'-lanterns. And then we have the bats. So those are the little header sheets. And then we have the dividers. So we have our like simple line dividers here with the little icons in the middle. And then we have just some brooms. And then the teeny tiny dainty ones are just the witch hats. I usually take like the smallest, or like the icon that looks the best as the smallest, and make that into the dainty one. So there's our dainty confetti dot one. And then I just did the coffins as well as like the bigger option, because I like to have, I don't know, I kind of like to do the same style basically each time. I have a teeny tiny dainty one. I have one that's like a long item in a zigzag pattern, and then just like a bigger icon in whatever pattern. So we have that. And then next we can get into the bottom washi. So we'll start with the 15 millimeter, starting off with the jack-o'-lanterns. So we just have our alternating jack-o'-lanterns, super basic pattern, very simple. And then just to jazz things up, I did a more complicated one. So this one is called a witchy, and I did take all of the witchier elements from the collection and just kind of like line them up so it looks like the inside of a witch's lair, or just abode, house, whatever. So we'd have the cauldron and the broom leaning up against it. We have our black cat, the candelabra, the witch's hat, and then there's just a ghost and spiders in there just for the general spooky vibe. But I really love how that looks. And then the candelabra and black cat are deco as well on that sheet. So if you're using a witchier kit, which there are a lot of witch kits out there, then this will be the bottom washi for you. And then it isn't a Halloween collection without some graveyard washi as well. So we do have graveyard 1, which is just this graveyard pattern, and then we have graveyard 2, which is this one, which has the tree in it and the jack-o'-lanterns. So there's both versions of that. And then we have the confetti, which is the same as the flag overlays, but, you know, turned into the confetti bottom washi. And then if you're using a glam planner kit, you're going to want to pick up the 10 and 7 millimeter sheet as well. So you can grab one of the 15 and then this sheet, and then you'll have all 3 of the triplicated bottom washis covered. So we do have our bats pattern, because I did not use bats for the 15, so I did use bats on the 10. And then the 7 is just the confetti from the headers. And then these are glam planner sized flag overlays, because obviously glam planner. In my shop, as part of the basics collection, I do have flag overlays for both glam planner and SPC size. Every shop I feel like has a different size of flag, but I just decided to cover the main 2 sizes there, and you can kind of trim them as you need with other shops' flag overlays if you use them, which I feel like nobody does these days but me, so I still use them in my collections so I can use them personally. And then for the 32 millimeter, I really had fun with this and kind of just went crazy, like glamming up the graveyard the graveyard pattern to make it more fun and include other elements from the collection. So I like kind of took out stuff and added stuff. So we have like more fun elements in here. So as usual, there's 1 version for the left side and then 2 for the right side, depending on whether you want to use the weekend banner or not. So for the left side, we do have our ghosts in here, and we have our jack-o'-lantern, and then the RIP tombstone, which is so funny. I feel like I'm still in that phase of my life where I say RIP every time something sad happens, like, oh, that's so sad, RIP. I don't know, this dumb thing that I am just constantly doing now. So if I text you and I'd say that, just know that I'm still in that dumb phase of life where I say that. Anyway, we all have dumb phrases that we've said every now and then. And then we have, on the right side, that's the more complicated one, we have the ghost, and then the broom, the bats, the cat, another ghosty, and then the hand and the jack-o'-lantern. So there's the 32 millimeter. Again, I'm trying to do a scene for these because you said you liked scenes better for the bigger washi, but I am still trying to keep it simple, so that's why only the bottom is pretty much covered, and so it still leaves a ton of space for whatever the actual design is, so it's a little bit more subtle. So that is, oh yeah, what am I doing? Completely forgot one of these sheets, which I probably like flashed on screen, and you were like, what is that? And I just lost it. But this is the brand new sheet for this collection, and going forward, this is the corners sheet. So I noticed on Instagram that a lot of you guys were were cutting up the confetti corner overlays. Like, you're getting one of these sheets and then just cutting off the corners and using them over full boxes just like that. So I decided to just like make it more convenient for you guys and provide the corners on their own sheet. This is like a little mini sheet. So you will have the medium-sized confetti corners right here. You get 2 sets of those and then one of these small. And then I did come up with more smaller ones that were like very dainty and subtle in case you wanted, you know, that dainty subtle option. So we have these over here and you get 2 sets of those with the really teeny tiny confetti. So basically whatever corner option you could want for that collection, you have it on here. I really love that because I'm going to have fun, I feel like, with these, especially using these over like half boxes and third boxes as well. Especially like in combination with the like simple line borders that I have for those size of box. I think that could be so fun. And also swoops and dangles I use over like half boxes as well. So like there's just like endless decoration opportunities with these overlays. So I'm really excited about using that myself. But yeah, so this will be available for all collections going forward, and also I will do some designs for basics collection for these corners. So very exciting. And then lastly, let's go over the bundle real quick. So this bundle is available in as mini or ultimate. Mini does not come with underlays. The ultimate size, you can choose whatever underlays you want from all the ones that are available in the collection. And for the first page, we just have the full box overlays, the confetti ones. So you get 2 of the full, you get 2 of the medium 4 corner, 2 of the medium 2 corner. You get each variety of like the classic ones. And then you get the confetti double box scene overlay. If you want the fun one, you do have to purchase that a la carte. And then you get 2 pages of your underlays. This is just the large for demonstration purposes. And then for the next page, you do get all 3 of the header overlays, and then you get the entire deco sheet as well, because again, I don't do scripts or icons yet. Instead, I like to give you options to decorate the icons. So we have that. And the next page is the bottom washi, date dots, tiny deco, like classic dividers, weekend banner. So I did just choose the jack-o'-lanterns. Again, if you want a different 15mm, you can just purchase that a la carte. And then we have the confetti, and then the 5 overlays as well. And then all of these, pretty much everything is also available on its own and like full sheet a la carte as part of the basics collection, including 2 sizes of date dots as well. And the weekend banner is available on clear glossy paper, which is this, or premium matte paper. So a lot of options for you guys. And then this is the optional add-on sheet, which can go with either the mini or the ultimate. You can get it as an add-on for either one. So you do get 2 additional underlays with that. I just did the jack-o'-lantern pattern. You cannot choose your underlays for this sheet. Unfortunately, these are set, so they will either match or complement whatever underlays you choose as part of the bundle. And then you get 2 confetti medium 3 corner overlays, and then you get 2 from the full box overlay sheet. It's just whatever 2 that I choose. So we have the Haunted House border 1 and then the fun border, and then 2 from the quotes sheet, except one is different, and I'll tell you why in a sec. But we do have the trick or treat one, which is I like to provide 1 full cover option depending on whether you want to use the pattern full box then overlay for that. And then I like to include a really subtle one if you want to put it over a box with clip art, or like if you don't have a pattern full box with that kit. And I didn't have any really subtle quote box overlays in my quote sheets for this collection. Usually I do when I'm making my own, but I didn't have one this time, so I did decide to make my own specifically for this bundle add-on sheet. So this is exclusive to this sheet, but it is just the classic Happy Halloween teeny tiny, you know, quote overlay. Because for some reason the quotes that I had, I didn't choose one that just said Happy Halloween, or like there wasn't one or something. So I did want to include it on here as an option. So this is exclusive to this sheet. Future Halloween collections will probably include more like that, but right now it's just exclusive. So that is the bundle. Love that. And yeah, also while I'm here real quick before we get into the mock spread, I am just going to show off my bestie Sage's freebie. She is now basically an unofficial member of the PR team, which is not like a real official team yet. It will be at some point, but right now I'm just basically all of my friends who regularly advertise my stuff, I'm just like giving them freebies just for funsies. So you can use Sage 15 to get 15% off your order every time, or put the name Sage in the notes if you're using another coupon code to get her freebie. Right now her freebie is this sunflower themed one, obviously because she loves sunflowers. So we have the medium 4 corner full box overlay. We have all 4 of these sunflower dividers. These are all parts from the sunflower collection. And then you get your tiny sunflower deco. I actually did make some of this even tinier because she asked me to, and she's the inspiration for me making my deco clusters even tinier. Yeah, but yeah, I basically started with this freebie. So some of these are super tiny and they are not actually available on the regular deco sheet in the collection. They are exclusive to this freebie right now, which is super cool because it's free. And she did also request for some scripts to be on there as well. So we have In My Feelings, Annoyed AF, and then 2 versions of YouTube Binge. So that is Sage's freebie. I love that so much. And then for the mock spread, I'm going to be using this kit from Creating & Co. because she's like a format that I don't really find that useful anymore because it doesn't have enough like boxes and labels for me. So I did just want to use it up for a mock spread, and thankfully I wanted to use Violet for this collection anyway just to show it off, but thankfully it does kind of match, I feel like, perfectly this collection, or not, or this kit rather. So very excited to see how that looks when it's all laid down. So although this kit is actually the premium matte, so it's gonna be a little funky for the places that I don't use foil over, but we'll see. I've done it before, I can do it again. So just gonna go ahead and lay all that out and then come back and show you how it all looks. So let's go ahead and lay all that down. Okay, so I think I'm just about done with the mock spread. So I did think it turned out really awesome. So I tried to use up as much of the collection as I could. So we have the bottom washi here. I did do the witchy one because I just wanted to see how it looked. And then of course the confetti one over the florals, which looks really neat. So there's that, and then we have the underlays. You can see the large, medium. I did try to do both uncovered and then like covered up so you can kind of see how much you can see behind it. We have our bats and jack-o'-lanterns, and then we have the full box overlays. We have the confetti full, medium 4-corner, and then we have the medium 2-corner, and the trick or treat quote overlay. We have the haunted house border overlay, and then the fun border down here. And then I did dress it up with a bunch of deco of varying sizes, swoops and dangles. Get our dividers there's one right there, and then I paired that with a simple line divider from the bottom washi page. There's another divider and more dividers, another pairing. There's also more swoops and dangles. I put some in the, not there, in the full boxes as well. Nope. There's somewhere. There's some there. Yeah, so I really love how this looks. We've got some more tiny deco up top. I did try to put some of the teeny tiny deco over some of these like doodles so that you can kind of see how I meant to be using it, and I did put a bow on the skull because I thought that would be the funniest thing ever, which it is. So there's the tiny deco over the little icons and doodles. So that's how I would be kind of using it in my spread. We have our flag overlays there as well, and then I did put the bats around the little haunted house up there, which again, just me being funny. Then we get swoops and dangles and header overlays as well. You can see all the different versions of those. And then we have our corners in action, and then the mini swoop as well. Scripts in action as well. I did use a whole bunch of different scripts. Here, basically everywhere is all scripts. And then there's the dainty corners, which again I really love. Usually half boxes don't have this particular style, So it did look a little different on here, but I still can't wait to use it on like the more standard half boxes. But yeah, I'm just completely obsessed with this, so I really hope you guys love it. And next collection will be Thanksgiving, so I'm hoping to get that out kind of on time. We'll see. I'm gonna really rush to get it done. So look forward to that. Thank you so much for watching. If you want to like, comment, subscribe, and share, that would be amazing. And I will see you in my next video. Ciao, ciao.